off the mark. Gather round sovereigns, we're navigating our pineal glands with Meeks, Kali, and Tootie Odin, reclaiming our native lands. We're off the mark.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to episode 17 of Off the Mark. I am your host, Tootie O, and with me, as always, is my beautiful co-host, Miss Meeks Kali. How are you, my love, my dear?
Hello, love. Miss Tootie, how's it going?
Going well, digging the shirt.
Right? Represent.
Yeah. We didn't coordinate this at all, by the way. Not coordinated.
Three minds think alike.
So today, we are going to bring you a quick update on what's going on around here in California. Whether you're from California or not, we have all understood as a nation that California has been used as a guinea pig in this entire lockdown situation throughout, I guess for a year almost. It's coming up on a year now. So we're going to bring you some stories and the miraculous overturn of the lockdown, which happened just a few weeks ago, maybe a week ago now. I'm not sure how long ago it was. I do understand it was just a handful of days after Biden was put into office. So that was kind of good timing, great timing actually on his part somehow.
Yeah, I believe it was the 25th or 26th. So it's just like this Monday. Yeah.
Yeah, just out of nowhere. Like nobody expected it. It just really just happened out of nowhere. He was like, you know what?
Things are better now.
Yeah, he just woke up in a better mood. I can't understand what's going on there, but we're going to bring you some numbers and some updates on that. I also have another story about a gentleman who is from California, who was in the news last May for defying COVID orders and keeping his gym open and having good constitutional reasons for it. I don't know if I don't recall if he was arrested. I do know that he was able to overturn lawsuits and or fix-it tickets. As far as businesses go, small businesses. But recently, as of Wednesday, he was arrested for being at the Capitol, and there's some kind of a little bit of interesting things there as well. So we're going to bring that to you at the end of the episode. We're going to bring you some recall information if you're interested in that. So yeah, let's just without further ado, let's get started.
Yeah. So I'll go ahead and bring up one of our first articles. So as you mentioned, everyone was quite surprised that this week, as of a few days ago, Newsom in California has suddenly announced that we're lifting the lockdown. So we went into lockdown or our new stay-at-home orders again on December 3rd of 2020. And, during that time, of course, they were adamant about everyone staying home for Thanksgiving and Christmas. And so everybody just missed out on these holidays with our loved ones. And yeah, suddenly a month later, literally days after Biden takes office, all of a sudden things are looking bright. We're on the up and up. Never mind that at the time of us returning to the stay-at-home order on December 3rd, hospitalizations were at 2,572. And then as of announcing the lift on January 25th, hospitalizations were at 6,486. So cases have been increasing. There's been a lot of criticism of that. So there's this double-stepping push towards COVID's getting worse. Like they took the case ticker off of CNN, as soon as Biden took office. So they're not blaming him.
They put it back up.
Oh, they did. Okay.
But yes,
like, people noticed.
That did happen. Yeah,
but it's like not to blame him for that anymore. But
on the other side of that, for a good chunk of this pandemic that we've been in, they have this threshold that they use for the hospitals, and they put it. The rule is it's the threshold. If the hospital is at 15% capacity, they can lift some of the orders and whatnot. So, unbeknownst to us, the hospitals were at 15% capacity for a good 6, 7, 8, 9 months out of the year, or especially the summer months. It was pretty low. But 98% of the country was still locked down.
Right.
All of a sudden, now that the numbers have changed and they have increased, all of a sudden, you know what? It's probably a good idea to lift some of the lockdowns. It makes absolutely no sense. No sense. So, you know, and in fact, I have a quote here from House Minority Leader Kevin McCarthy. He is a congressman in the 23rd district here in California. He criticized him. He basically, you know, he called him out, and he's been doing that a lot lately, which is quite nice. But he basically called him out and flat out called him a liar on most of what he's doing. His quote exactly is, and as Miss Kelly mentioned already, the state health officials have recognized the funny business happening, recognized that people have questions, and decided that they weren't going to answer any questions anyway, that they were going to just hide all the information so as not to confuse the public. That's quote. So as not to confuse the public, they're not going to tell us anything. Keep us in the dark, but you know, at the same time, trust us. We're going to lift this order.
It would just upset you more. Don't worry about it.
Right after, you know, I mean, it makes no sense. So, quote Kevin McCarthy. Not only does this logically not make sense, it suggests Newsom doesn't think his constituents are capable of doing what's right for themselves and their families, and it's been that way for the last how long? 6-7 months. We've called him a tyrant and Mussolini, and you know, all kinds of, you know,
King Gavin,
you know, fun dictator names. So yeah, it was yeah, and so you know, which brought back. Somebody mentioned something to me, which I found funny. He said, so there's going to be people who are going to still continuously recall him because they're going to be against this idea that he's lifting the lockdowns, because there's a lot of people that are still very much afraid of COVID and found the lockdowns. While half of California found the lockdowns ridiculous, the other half found them completely necessary and still find them completely necessary, especially people that work in hospitals. So it's
suddenly there's all these pushes to reopen the schools, and that like new science is finding that there's like with proper measures, there's low risk to children and we should be reopening the schools. And of course the teachers are hesitant about that because they've been, you know, pummeled with this fear that they were going to endanger themselves and the children if they dared to instruct them in person. So right.
And
they're surprised by the resistance now that people would still be concerned. Like, you can't just switch it on and off like this.
Right.
A month ago, we were going to kill Graham if we had Christmas dinner together, but now outdoor dining is encouraged.
I really don't understand it. I really don't understand it, and I don't think anybody does either. But it seems like he's trying to save his ass from the recall. That's what it seems like to me on a smaller scale, which is why everybody's claiming it's political. On a bigger scale, I think it has more to do with the fact that the lockdowns were necessary in the first place, and that the COVID numbers have been inflated this entire time, and that we've been lied to this entire time.
Right.
And exactly like many people have predicted, including the former president, Donald Trump. He already said, watch, when Biden gets elected, coronavirus will be gone. He said it so many times, and he said it being cynical, and he said it, you know, being a jerk, but was he wrong? You know what I mean? Like, I think, like I said, California, as the nation knows, we're the guinea pigs for this entire thing.
Right. Us in New York.
And New York. Yeah. We're the science project to see who and what and how they can manipulate every single one of us. It worked, did it not?
How much will we accept?
We're still here. Right. How much will we accept? And now all of a sudden, now they're trying to pull back the reins for some reason. Why? Well, because we got what we wanted. We got the man in the house that we wanted. So it all ties into, you know, this voter fraud being you know, being making sense. You know, the mail-in ballots and all the situations where there's mix-ups and there's fake addresses.
I received a mail-in ballot and I didn't ask for one.
Same. I don't. Well, exactly. They were just sent out automatically. In some states they do that, and they've been doing that for years. In California, but California is not one of those states. So as I said, we are the guinea. We've been guinea pigs. We've been plagued this entire time. Long Beach exclusively is just Mayor Garcia is his puppet, his little lapdog. So, you know, we've been doing exactly what LA has been doing. Even though we have our own health department, we have all our own resources, we don't need anything from LA County. especially because we have a lot of money from China right now.
We got the
Breaking
port,
news.
so that's why.
we have, exactly, we're loaded. There's nothing we need from LA. We would have been able to sustain on our own, and yet we still sat there and followed every single rule to the T. So, and again, now Long Beach is hustling out to get those outdoor dining areas situated again. I see all the local restaurants now scrambling again, about to put in, who knows, even if it's just $1,500, that's a lot. That's a big chunk of money that's probably going to take a few weekends to make back up.
Which corporate, like they can, stomach it, or take the hit, but these small businesses, like you're toying with them so much. If they've lasted this long, then having to keep up with outdoor dining. So even for them to like buy all that extra stuff to qualify for it, but then if they don't, then they can't compete with the outdoor dining places if they're only able to still offer indoor dining or takeout, or what, I mean, not indoor, but takeout or whatever.
On top of that, Long Beach alone has already got their health officials pen in hand ready to go to, fight people that are not cohering to COVID rules or whatever. So
make examples of them.
There's money to be made no matter what. The city's going to find air no matter what. And like I said, I honestly do believe that we are the experiment for what the government wants for the entire country. Right. And I honestly think that that's exactly why these things have been lifted, just to see exactly what our response is going to be. And it wasn't positive. It was confused. And in order to not confuse us, they're not going to give us any information. This is Twilight Zone. That's a Twilight Zone answer. We're not going to give you any, we're not going to tell you anything. It's like the leader on the screen, the episode with the leader on the screen and everybody's in line and just like, oh yeah, just do what he says. Just, oh yeah, okay, he's right. Because he's everywhere and he's saying the same thing everywhere. So no matter what, it gets soaked into your brain. This is a Twilight Zone episode. This is what we're living right now. We're not able to think for ourselves, so much to the point where, well, we're not going to give you the information. So we just sit there and accept the fact that, well, I'm just going to continue to be confused, but you know what? At least I get to go eat.
It's gotten to the point where now on Google's main page, they have a fact check section. So just in case you can't trust yourself to use the search engine on your own and that you're afraid you might encounter some misinformation potentially and won't be able to discern for yourself while reading it, how that registers with you, instead of having to tick every article, which they're still doing, they'll have a fact check section so you can be certain that that stuff has been verified by science and officials.
Officials, but who's, oh my goodness,
right?
That's so scary. Who's the official? Who are we getting the word from?
Right.
Who are we getting the word from? What side are they on? So it's that's crazy.
And there's such a call for censorship now and an encouragement that, I mean, they're calling Facebook like the crazy uncles, or that's the issues, that there's all these radical people with their independent thoughts just filling the space of all the truth and just making it all murky and hard to, you need this sorted out. Keep your poppycock over there, or keep it to yourself, grandpa. I don't know.
It's
it's wild.
Exactly what they're saying. Yeah. And it sucks because did we bring this up already, the gym guy? Or was that just in private?
Oh, we just introduced it, but we didn't go into the details. Yeah. So
stop doing that. We gotta stop talking about it before. Oh man. Yeah, but people like that are used as an example. The crazy uncle theory. Mm-hmm. I have this Jeff Lewis fella. He's a Victorville gym owner. He's 37-year-old Victorville gym owner. He made the news a few times because he defied the COVID rules and this and that. But they have his quotes. They have him in American gear, in pictures and images. So they have this typical crazy uncle guy on TV. His quotes are things like this: "I'm big on the Constitution," which, well, who's not? You know what I mean? But that's one they use. "I'm big on the Constitution," like a typical response that you would expect.
It's like, oh, another one of these guys.
Another one of those, exactly. Right. But and then what else did he say? I can't read it. Defied lockdown in May, claiming that his customers, quote, physical and mental health are important, as are our freedoms, end of quote. And it's like, well, is he wrong? He's not wrong, but the way they're quoting him is they're just poking fun of him, and anybody who has the same radical ideas that freedom is cool should be okay with everybody. You know what I mean? That he should be able to keep his business open so long as he adheres to rules. No, nobody, gyms are disgusting regardless. You know what I mean? But so they have to constantly be clean, constantly be maintained. And if they're not, then there's issues. Whether you trust the gym or not isn't going to change during COVID or not.
Right.
You have to trust that the equipment's going to be cleaned over and over. Otherwise, you wouldn't go in the first place. I wouldn't. So, understandably so, if he's adhering to the rules and not every machine is being used and whatever the situation is, having hand sanitizer stations and this and that, paper towels everywhere. So when you wipe your sweat, throw it in the trash can, this and that, whatever. So what's the big deal? And then that was his point, that, everybody's point, and everybody around that makes these points, that are begging people to keep their businesses open, crying on camera, going viral. People still look at them like, you're an idiot. Well, who's the idiot now? All of a sudden, like that, overnight, over half an hour, things changed. The lockdown has been lifted. I don't know who's the idiot now. I don't know if it's Newsom. I don't know if it's us.
Because of the science we won't show you.
Right, but trust the science. What science? That we can't see anymore?
And there's so many doctors and scientists, of course, that have been adamant about trying to get their own findings and experience and research out there as well that contest this, and they've been silenced, of course, and censored and all of that.
Right, and then we have Fauci on the other side of this, telling everybody now to wear 2 masks. We got to double up. Like what? Like is it getting?
It's like you have to wear 2 masks because heaven forbid that you exhale 6 feet from somebody. But for the testing, let's swab your blood-brain barrier just to be sure.
Right. Yeah. And on top of that, the tests aren't free. The vaccine isn't free like it was supposed to be. So a lot of people who that are interested in doing both have to shell out like $500, $200 for the test, and then I don't know how much the vaccine is, to be honest. There are people that do get it free because they have insurance and this and that. But if this virus and this pandemic was so serious and it's not about making money, which obviously it is, because people are banging it, bringing in the bucks.
Right.
Why isn't it free? Why isn't why isn't it available all of a sudden to everybody? Now, are they setting the stage for something bigger to happen, where more lives are lost, where it is mandatory? That's one side.
Oh, look what happened. We opened up and
right.
And everybody wasn't vaccinated yet, and
right. Exactly. Or was it never as serious as we thought? Either way,
was it to unleash this immense fear that the only solution was more camera? No.
Right. And there's no turning around anymore.
Right.
Either they lied to us or they don't care. There is no bright side on this, and this is what people have been telling us this entire time. All the crazy uncles. So what they've been saying this whole time. Not that China virus is a hoax. It wasn't about a virus or a flu being a hoax. It was about the idea that they have to take this and that away from us because of this thing. Right. That was the hoax. And we fell into it. So what side are we on now? Lockdown has been lifted. I wonder if New York's been lifted. I want to say no.
I haven't heard as much reports of that, but yeah.
But that, if nothing else, that really upset me, because not on a personal level, I'm not shelling out any money for businesses, but because I live in the neighborhood that I do, I walk and I shop local as best as possible. So I've seen it. I've seen it with my own eyes, people scrambling and getting their planters, ready and setting up their tents again. And it's like, dude, why would they do this to these people? Wow. It broke my heart, man, because they're still trying to survive. Believing these people, believing all of this.
Right. They're trying to break our will, and it's part of the boiling the frog, approach, that they know that if they just outright took away everything and just thrust us into the Great Reset, that we wouldn't appreciate, or we wouldn't accept it, we'd rise up. But they do their whole problem, reaction, solution, MO, and just lather, rinse, repeat that over and over again. And it's been reported before, they have these lockstep plans where you put a little pressure, you get a little pushback, but it's not, it's 2 steps forward, 1 step back. So the pushback hasn't been equivalent to the push forward that they're, oppressing upon us. And
Right.
even when we're getting to a state now where the hypocrisy is so black and white, like, you know, we're going to touch on another episode of the GameStop and the stocks and all that, but there's a wonderful meme floating around of AOC and Donald Trump Jr. agreeing. And it's like, could there be a better example of how, you know, potentially scripted all of this is, and how official of a narrative. So yeah, that there's this bias that there, since Biden taking office, like one of his recent actions was issuing a travel ban towards South Africa, when it, like almost precisely a year ago on February 1st of 2020, Donald Trump issued the travel ban, and he was xenophobic.
Yeah.
And you know, but now a year later, Biden does it, and no, well, you know, our protection COVID. He has a plan now. There was no plan. Now there's a plan.
Yeah, he has a plan. Yeah.
The exact same action.
You know what's interesting is that they have completely taken I've seen it a couple times. They've taken the phrase "trust the plan."
Wow.
And they've used that. And it's like, wait a minute, what's going on here? Like, it was, you know, if you don't know, "trust the plan" is QAnon's like quote, I don't know, their slogan,
their mantra, yeah.
Their mantra,
when in doubt, trust the plan.
Trust the plan. Yeah. So now Biden's saying, "Oh my God,
that's a good one." Classic Biden.
It just makes me wonder, like how much
Biden the biter.
This QAnon was you know, a psyop. You know what I mean? Just like a, you know, look over here. You know what I mean? That's exactly what it was to me. Yeah, look, bear. oh my God, my daughter would love that right now. She saw that. But yeah, on top of these crazy uncles, these people crying out for the exact reasons for what happened, basically calling out what basically came up, you know, not predicting it, but at the same time knowing that this is exactly what was going to happen. But these people that own these small businesses that are defined, or even some anti-maskers that have legit reasons, they don't put those people out there. They like to put the crazy ones out there. But this person in general, Jeff Lewis, you know, they're getting punished. You know, they're getting punished, and they're being thrown under the bus as best they can. Apparently, allegedly, this person, this gym owner, was at the Capitol on January 6th, and they found him. I don't know how they found him, but they arrested him this past Wednesday. They understood enough that he was there for approximately 7 minutes inside the building. They know what he was wearing. They know, like, I don't know how it happened so quickly that they were able to find how they're able to pick and find these people and basically black bag them. For black bag them. I'm not going to change that. I mean, because that's basically what they're doing. And did he do anything violent inside the Capitol? I'm not sure. Is it still against the law I mean, I'm not even sure he was really there. That's kind of the point I'm making. I know the news says he was. Just seems a little bit coincidental to me that a lot of these people that they're pulling out of the woodworks that are people that are that aren't radical in their ideas, simply just pointing out things like, you know, well, this is against the Constitution, this is against the law, what you're doing right here is illegal, you can't do this to us, it's illegal. And they're not wrong. That's the thing, they're not wrong.
You can't call someone a radical for just pointing out when their rights are being infringed upon.
Exactly, that's it. They're living, they're living, breathing human beings that are just living and breathing and being human, and voicing that. You know,
I'm realizing I don't know what the law is necessarily for like mob rule, but for like in situations where if there was like mob rule all around you and you happen to get like caught up in it because you were like wrong place, wrong time, or even if you tended to be there but you weren't like part of the inciting of that, and you had to do certain actions in order to like survive or get out of that situation or whatever, I wonder how many people are being implicated from that, because maybe they weren't the people that were actually like climbing the fence and everything, but once that was the situation and there's kind of like a herd of people thrusting towards, and you're not going to go against the crowd necessarily, or I don't know, like just however you got caught up in there, but then because everybody's got their phones out and stuff and you get recorded because you're just on the scene. I mean, there were people that, not to say that there weren't people that had intentions of things escalating, but there were also people there who just wanted to peacefully protest, as we are encouraged to do, as been, you know, the the people of the year for for Time Magazine or whatever this
Right.
year. So yeah, so I don't know about, it's interesting how there's been such this call to like get those people held accountable for all those insurrectionists, that we need to find them, we need to like gather them. And there's been even this push towards people being encouraged as activists of like helping to catch these insurrectionists, that they're encouraging people to like scout their Facebooks, you know, and like social media pages to tattle on their friends and family if they see anything condemning that they were there or share similar values or might have, you know, to report these types of findings. And there's people that are going so far as to like, there's been reports on like dating profiles that people will put Republican in their dating profile, so they'll attract more of those, you know, conservative MAGA folk. And then a lot of the people who were at the Capitol, they'll brag about it too, you know, depending on how the conversation is, they lure them into this trap of confession that they were there.
It's still a pretty dumb thing to brag about, but
right. Yeah. Now's not the time.
Right. Now's not the time. Yeah. So dumb.
But, you know, if they're like, if the conversation was such of like, oh, those guys are such heroes. And, you know, I don't know how they're
very true.
You know, like the whole honeypot, you know, thing isn't new. And now we're in a digital version of that. But so, you know, it's interesting to have to be in a situation where you have to tell people to mind their P's and Q's when like freedom of speech was the First Amendment. It was the most important thing.
Very first one. Exactly.
Let's start this off.
It was more important than guns.
Right.
You know what I mean? It was more important than self-defense.
The pen is mightier than the sword. Like,
thank you.
There's a reason they're coming for this one first. You know, because if we don't have the first, we can't defend the second.
That's right. And everything else follows. You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. It's a house of cards.
Right.
Wow. That was great.
Castles made of sand.
You blew my mind right now. Okay, so COVID update real quick. I just want to throw it in there because as of like the 29th, what is that today? Today?
Yep.
3 million infections. And we're about to hit 40,000 deaths here alone in California. Again, that's take from that what you will, because everything's a COVID death these days. Right. So rest in peace to everybody who passed away. No disrespect there, but yeah. But it doesn't sound like a high number, but it's a good number. It's a good number. So, but yeah, those are the true numbers. I think the actual number is 38,000. But I imagine it'll be around 40 probably by the mid-month, if nothing else. You know,
right.
With the way things are going now.
And you know, like you're saying, take that with a grain of salt, because they've, you know, the CDC stopped recording flu cases on their website to just concentrate on the virus. They've had on their own sites that like 70% of the people that were testing positive or whatever were wearing masks and following, you know, all the recommendations to the letter. So, and there's like been issues of faulty tests and cases like that as well. And then if you compare the total number of people that died, you know, over the year of 2020, 2019 compared to 2019 and several years prior, like we're still in that same kind of spectrum. So you imagine there's like some trade-off that maybe there are extra people that are getting exposed to COVID and are dying from that. There might be other people that are dying from normal or other health causes that would have otherwise happened every other year in that percentage that are now being attributed to COVID because maybe they had COVID during it or whatever, or even if they didn't and it just got, you know, filed that way for whatever, you know, reasons.
They do get filed that way.
Right.
For sure.
You know, if they're like the processing is vague in their data systems, or if, you know, they're like it's shuffled in with the paperwork, or if the hospitals were getting incentives for like the respirators and all that. So yeah, so there's that factor as well. And then you figure there's a percentage of people where they've been reporting that in places like San Francisco that the number of suicides outnumber the number of COVID deaths in the region, that more people are affected by mental health, and especially the children. Yeah. You know, that, and like teenagers that like missed out on their graduation and all that and can't go to normal college and all these things like that. They're missing these developmental stages that they would have had. And obviously it's hard on everyone. Everyone's had to go through this shift and this loss and this initiation into this new world. But yeah, that the mental health is being overlooked, and that people of all ages, even the elderly, you know, that are now being isolated and maybe only got to see their family and kids on Christmas or Thanksgiving and didn't get to this time.
Yeah. Wow.
But now a month later, it's okay, you know.
Yeah. Just out of nowhere. No slow lift. No, let's give you guys some numbers so you guys trust us and understand this is why we're doing this now. Nothing.
I thought we were in this together, guys. Like,
what a slap in the damn face, man. What a slap in the face. And anybody watching who disagrees, I mean, well, more power to you, but at the same time, you have to be pissed off, at least a little bit. It has.
They're lying to us one way or another.
Right.
Either it's extremely dangerous and serious, and they're withholding vaccines, and we're like rushing it through the science and like giving it to, you know, certain lobbyists, and have been enforcing these lockdowns and other measures that haven't been effective, and they've been lying to us that way, or it's a power grab and we're all footing the bill for it, you know.
Right. Either way, man. You're absolutely right. There's no, that's the point. There's really no other way to look at this, man. Things are not on the up and up.
Either way, it's about the money at the end of the day. Either way, like there's certain people that are benefiting and profiting from this whole circumstance, and there's multitudes more that are, you know, doing all they can to keep afloat, or are becoming, you know, the collateral damage of it.
Right. So that being said, I want Miss Kelly to bring up the we're gonna do the recall thing, man. If you're listening and you're watching, you're from California. Right now, we are at 1.2 million signatures so far here in California to get the recall petition in line and on the conveyor belt.
And we have until March, was it 15th to get 1.5?
Maybe. I thought it was March 7th, but maybe. Maybe I'm
wrong.
Yeah, you could not. Maybe it's very possible you're not. We need 1.5. I think she just said that, but yeah, we need 1.5 necessary to get the ball rolling. And right now we're at 1.2. So
almost there, and we got a couple weeks. So here's the primary website to go to is recallgavin2020.com/petition. And so initially when you come, especially if you're a first-time visitor, it gives you an opportunity to sign up for their newsletter for updates. And when you close, here's the official recall petition. So obviously you can't submit this digitally, so it has instructions to follow below. So it has a letter-sized paper petition, and they have an updated version now for 2021, so they're keeping it current. And so you just download this form, and if you are unable to download and print this petition, you like it to be sent to you, you can click out a form and have it mailed to you even. And so here's the petition for recall. It has spaces for more than one signature. So while you're at it, if you print it out and you don't have anyone else that's initiating this and circulating it, here's the download button. If you don't have anyone that's initiating it, then you can print it out yourself and, you know, pass it around your household, your friends, your neighborhood or whatever, or even set up an event for a recall and let people know that there's going to be a booth or something. Sweet. And they even have a video here for instructions of what all to fill out. They have the petition instructions. So like only registered voters in California may sign this petition, use only black or blue ink and print very neatly, do not type, don't use Sharpie. Each person's name and address and signature must match. So, you know, let's be certain to be on the up and up and like dot our I's and cross our T's, all that. And then important, you are the circulator for the petition to be valid. So you must complete all of the circulator fields before you turn it in or mail it in. And each petition may contain signatures only from a single county. So if you have friends from another county, just start a new form for them. Any quantity of signatures is acceptable per petition. So if you happen to just want to do this on your own, print it out, sign it, and mail it in, that's perfectly fine as well. You don't have to have any minimum number. And it says use a separate petition for each county, and signatures are verified by the individual county registers. And here's the sample for educational purposes. So make sure all the places to make sure that you've filled out, and the best place to mail back the petitions is California Patriot Coalition at P.O. Box 417030, Sacramento, California 95841. And you can also download the petition, the official petition instructions. So if you wanted to, even at your event or just create a little pamphlet that had all the papers printed already and pass those out so other people can arrange their own events or pass it around their county. You can prepare that for them as well, so they have everything without having to go online and look at this as well. Just whatever is going to be easiest for people. They did their best to cover all the bases. And and then again, they also have their phone number and email if you have any other further questions.
Go back to that bear.
Right? Here's AF. He's like, no more.
Lord.
Water tax. Government outreach had enough.
He is upset.
Ooh, we are riled. He's right.
Report this page, man. That's dangerous.
Yeah. And then that guy. So yeah, so notoriously there's been a lot of instances with Gavin over the course for the recall. We have another episode of our Newsom Smackdown and Pancake Foray, so you can check out that cast that explains a bit more of what's been like for us here in California and what our concerns and why people are so upset. What everybody's so mad about. But yeah, he's notoriously had his own wine tasting restaurant open through the pandemic, while other by reservation, but nevertheless, there's while other restaurants have had been on and off and following all these protocols. And then also notoriously when indoor dining was stopped or discouraged, that he was then photographed dining indoors without a mask with a party of like 16 people or something, and people from separate households. So, just breaking all the rules he told for us. Mm-hmm. And he did make an official apology where he said he made a mistake and he was sorry.
Oh, well, in that case.
Well, so we're good.
Boys will be boys.
Well, that's the end of that chapter.
Yeah. Thank you, sir. Yep. Rules for thee, not for me.
Yep. And as nephew of Miss Pelosi, runs in the family.
That's right. That's right. Yeah. Runs in the family. No kidding.
We need to do an episode about the families of Los Angeles as well. That's the kicker.
Oh, I'm down.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm down. Like the connections and stuff?
Mm-hmm. Involves
Dude, that sounds cool.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I'm in.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds good. Come on, ladies and gentlemen. This is some good stuff here.
Right. Good. Talk with us. Chat with us down in the, even if you, disagree, let us know how you think we're wrong. But, respectfully so.
We'll fight you. Yeah, man. That was great. That was good stuff. A little shorter than usual, but that was a good episode. Yeah. Well, we just knocked them out this time. Right. So yeah, good for us. So thank you guys so much for watching with us. As always, we appreciate everything. Every view counts for something. I mean, every day we're on it. Dude, we got like 21. it's at 25. So, just make our day brighter by, watching our videos. That'd be nice. Take some notes. You know what I mean? Just stay informed. Stay informed, even if it's through us. You can trust us. No, don't do that. Do your own research. But yeah, thank you guys again, Ms. Khalid. Thank you so much for all your work.
Thank you so much. And just want to invite everyone also to we are on Patreon, where we're be sharing a lot more exclusive casts. So topics that we can't necessarily discuss on YouTube because we'll get flagged or censored. And, already we've done little notices on our things. So hush you. But yeah, so on our Patreon, we're able to be much more free and connected with you and a lot more targeted. So we invite everyone to join us over there and help to support the mission. It's important for us all to speak out. So we want to connect with you all.
Yeah, she's not wrong. Tell the truth. So yeah, Patreon, what is it? Patreon.com/offthemarkcast.
Yes.
Is that where we're at? Okay, good.
Yeah.
Good. I got it right. Yes, that never happens. So yeah, thank you guys again. I've been your host, Miss Studio, Miss Kali. Thank you once again. And stay vigilant, stay focused, do what you gotta do. And it was all a dream.